This is called Miscellaneous Topics because I have had a lot of subjects I'm going to talk about. But these are interesting topics. I may come up with a more highlighted topic to add to the title. But I'm short on time. Don't know if I'm going on a hiatus. I may be on a hiatus longer than I hope to be. So there's some subjects I want to touch on. But from this video, I may end up taking some of my 15-second videos from footage I put on this video. And I'm playing it by ear right now. But here we go. That took me 36 seconds, so don't tune out just because I didn't say anything yet. So we'll start with Donald Trump. $200 billion that he gave to black Americans. You could call that reparations. But he gave $200 billion for college and business. I hope they do a show highlighting where that money went, right? And the reason is not to interrogate it, but because people don't believe he did it. And so I want there to be some shows about that, as if they're interrogating it. Now you might find out it didn't go everywhere it was supposed to go. I think Trump probably put it in pretty good hands, knowing Trump. But here's the point. The point is that compare that, they call him racist, and he gave 200 billion, not million, not thousand, not hundred, but $200 billion to black Americans. I assume black Americans, not just, black, period. Black colleges and black business. So what's racist about that? But Biden is sending how much fentanyl into black communities across the borders? How many Hamas terrorists is he taking to homeless shelters and different places, or downtown, or I don't know where they're going? How many gangs? How many soldiers? There's so many guys coming across the border. It's no women. Usually women need the refuge, right? These are soldiers. A lot of them are soldiers, right? I mean, I'm happy and hopeful for the people who are coming here for good reasons. But the Democrats, they purposely invited some of those kind of people. So anyway, but sending fentanyl kills people into the cartels and all that, to gangs. So maybe they're killing off, maybe the Democrats are trying to kill off our black gangs and stuff by bringing in fentanyl. And then he's replacing them, their housing and everything else, with the people he's bringing across the border. I don't know. I'm saying there's room for all that. That's for sure. But Trump doesn't do that kind of stuff. He doesn't create situations that you could even question that. Now, it's the media. The Democrats own most of media still, so you can't address those things. If you address it, they're going to block it. You can't hear it. Most people might not even hear this, right? But it's out there. So my little chocolate binge yesterday may have made it hard for me to remember anything. But I had a subject I'm going to touch on. I've already done a video on this, but I'll touch on people sitting down on the national anthem and LeBron James, my favorite basketball player, LeBron James. But I don't support his politics at all. As a matter of fact, I think he's a bigot. He's a prejudiced person, hateful person when it comes to Trump and apparently me. I don't think we could have a subject about what I believe. If he thinks I'm against abortion, it's a conversation over. He'll not talk about God, basketball. He might not talk about anything. He'll say, I hate him. And especially if he hears I support Trump. So I have a problem with that. He hates Donald Trump, and he hasn't even heard his views. I've never heard him discuss any views, disagreements with views. If I talk about Biden or Obama or Clinton, I disagree with them. I don't hate them, and I'll tell you why I disagree with them, and I can't support them, because I don't support abortion. I don't support same-sex marriage laws. Now, if they wanted to do it on their own, that's another thing. But to call it natural, falsely claim it's a natural law when it's not, and to relieve fathers of their responsibility of taking care of their own children and put them up and promote putting them up for adoption, so so same-sex families can have a child. You don't do that. You promote responsibility. I do support adoption and versus abortion and stuff, but you don't promote it. You promote responsibility, all right? Father and mother. You promote keeping father and mother together. You promote them not getting divorced. You promote them staying together for their children, and if they get along, right? I guess you can't if you don't get along or somebody cheated. There's biblical room to stay apart, but our laws should support that. And so, if you're trying to build a country, a nation, a community, you don't make laws that are counterproductive to that, and then claim that they're reality and truth. They're not truth and reality. It might be a preference. Some people may have a preference, so they could do. If they want to live together on their own, that's their business. And they want to pretend they're married, that's their business. The same-sex marriage, but it's not validated by a real definition. It's not a real definition, and so shouldn't be made a law if it's not real. And they don't support. They aren't trying to build a better country. They're trying to tear down the country by doing that. When leaders do that, some of them may be really delusional, but for the most part, they're doing it on purpose to try to tear down the country for population control. And they're so big into population control and not having children and everything else, but then they bring people from all over the world here. That's to destroy us contesting population control. That's to vote out people who oppose population control. So the government they're ushering in is so they can kill whoever they want all over the world. In the New World Order, they're trying to get rid of a free country, so you have the New World Order under slavery. The New World Order is going to be a slave system, not a free system. And it's going to be the whole world. The whole world's going to be a slave to the New World Order. That's bottom line. So socialism is a slave system. Capitalism is you get paid for your labor system. As capitalism replaced slavery, the Republicans ended slavery in 1865. That's the 15-second video I wanted to do. I think I'm just too tired to do it, to squeeze it in. I got a lot to do aside from videos right now. And so but 1865, Abraham Lincoln ended slavery. We fought a war. The Republicans fought and won a war to end slavery and unite the states under the outlawing of slavery. Instead of uniting the states to have slavery, they united the states with the outlawing of slavery. And that's a large reason they united them. To outlaw the whole slavery in the whole continent. Except they couldn't talk about Canada or Mexico, but for the whole most of the continent. They wanted to outlaw it. They didn't want to have slavery here and not slavery here. They wanted to have no slavery, right? That's the Republicans. The Christian president, Abraham Lincoln. Christian Republican president, Abraham Lincoln. All right. So, talk about that. What do I care? Okay, here's a miscellaneous subject. Personal life. I don't care what people think. What do I think about Facebook and everybody blocking videos and controlling speech and trying to make slaves out of people? Well, I get the last laugh. I'm going to heaven. Where are they going for promoting lies and silencing truth? They're not going to Christ's heaven. He's I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by me. That's what Jesus says. But he's for spirit and truth. He's against lies. He's against the Ten Commandments says, "Thou shalt not bear false witness against your neighbor." They support all these lies against Trump being racist, and they won't even talk about him giving $200 billion to black Americans. And if anything, that's racist against white people. I say that sarcastically. But he put it where he saw a need. There's a need in the black community to help people get more jobs and there's a problem, a historic problem with there's more gangs in the black community, as far as I know, and it seems that's the case. And per capita, I don't know if there's really more black gangs, because there's a lot of white out west. There's a lot of white gangs, Hispanic gangs. But per capita, percentage-wise, in the black community, I'm pretty sure there's more gangs, especially in some cities more than others. It's not like that in every city, but on the East Coast it seems to be, right? So he saw a need, and he wanted to help him get to college. So in our black community in America, it's apparently a lot of fatherlessness. So he saw a need to help people go to college if they want to. He saw a need. He can see this. He has statistics charts. I don't have that, and it probably shows that there's not as many black business owners as white. So he gave money for black business, $200 billion. And so I want them to do shows on that and trace where the money went, so people know. Because I've talked to people in the streets and stuff, and they don't even know about that. They're like, "Is that true?" I'll say, "Look it up, Google it." And of course, Google nowadays changes stuff, but some of those, there's stuff there to show that he did that. It was a few months ago. Now that people have been looking up, I wouldn't doubt it if they changed it. I hope they didn't. I know they've changed other statistics I looked up 12 years ago. They've hidden the statistics. They've even changed. I used to study diet and nutrition, and you can't look up the same information anymore. For instance, you're not going to find much that says something bad about coffee being bad for your health, but it is. And I've studied the facts before. I've experienced it. I've tested it myself, and I'm conscientious of side effects. I've paid attention to it, and so that's why the chocolate's affecting me right now. But I'm not doing any more chocolate. I did it all yesterday, and I ate more than I wanted to, so I wouldn't eat any today. So I wouldn't save any for tomorrow. I didn't want to give it away or throw it away because I paid for it. But I did want a good bit of it. But I ate it all, so it's done. I'm done with the chocolate bench. Yeah, it's over. All right? So I did too much, but it's over. So, but do I care what people think? I don't. I'm cautious about what people think. I like the fact that I found out there's people I've tried to get along with for a long time, and I'm done with it. I'm glad I finally realized, hey, they don't want to get along, and that's within family. And older adults wanted me to get along with some people who don't want to. And they're hateful, mean, and don't want to have a conversation. They can't have a conversation about basketball, just a casual conversation about anything with me. And they're incapable of carrying a conversation with me. And a lot, these are people who are very capable of carrying conversations too, as almost in any situation. So some things happened to where I just realized you're wasting your time, and all it's going to do is turn into a fight. And so I feel relief to understand it's not my fault. And there is some things that are my fault, like that, but I can't guarantee. So it's like we could finally start getting along if I never have a relapse on any kind of drug relapse or something. But if I go 6 months to a year, 2 years, then have a relapse, then we're not friends anymore. Just one. I disagree with that, and I'm not going to keep that pressure on me. Not to not relapse, but I hope I don't have any kind of relapses on stuff that can get you hurt or in trouble. So there's a legitimacy to that. If you have a relapse on something illegal, then you put yourself around dangerous people, and that can put people in danger around you. So that's a legitimate thing. But I don't think it should. I completely disagree with our laws about medicine. They should have legal venues, safe legal venues, and but part of the reason I relapse is not. It's for the social life, and really I've not found a good social life out there. But it's because I don't fit in after being robbed and different things, and I just don't fit in. But I fit in with broken people, with people whose life didn't turn out like I'm somebody who wanted to have children. I wanted to have family and children and be successful at one point, and it didn't happen, right? But now I'm 51, and I don't fit in. I know all these successful people who have married, children and family and all this. And I don't fit in with them. So it's because some of them are very judgmental about that, right? It's over. I mean, it's done. It's past, but I don't fit in, right? I don't fit in because I'm not rich. I don't fit in because I also believe the laws are wrong. I contest the laws, right? And I know I'm right about that, actually. And so part of the reason I got into it in the first place was because I knew something wasn't right. I wasn't drawn to use. I was actually into nutrition and health back when I first started. Somebody tricked me into using something to start, saying it's over the counter, stay awake, and I had lost a lot of sleep and promised I'd go hang out with some people, and they gave me something they said was over the counter, and it wasn't. And so once that happened, I'm like, hey, these things actually do something. I thought they were just for depressed people, but that's kind of neither here nor there. I was introduced, and I realized medicines do something, but there's too much pressure on people to, I guess, some people, there's a point where a person could benefit from a depression medicine or a pain medicine. And then there's too much pressure to feel guilty about it or to feel afraid. And then there's not the safer forms of it, right? And I've never wanted to do it more than one day. I've always wanted to do it when I think I need something. But I've never wanted to do it beyond that because I like feeling strong. I don't know. Other people can handle getting weak and feeling out of their head. I mean, it's fun to change your perspective for a brief time sometimes. It's nice. It's sometimes a relief, sometimes good. But with the medicine. But I want myself back by the next day. I don't. So naturally, some people have told me, well, everybody can't do that. And so why are you promoting it? I'm not promoting it. It's promoted. It's in your face in the streets. If you legalize it proper, it's going to be behind counters, not in your face. They're not saying, give me, I want your money, I want your money, I want your money. They're not doing that. It shows you the price. And you're like, I think I won't do it. And they're not. So, but if it's in your face, it's actually being promoted more out there. And plus, and because of the segregated society that demonizes and hates on people who have been involved in that. So I'm not denying that there's problems with it, the addiction and all that. But the system from the root is backwards and wrong. We've called it from the devil. It's medicine from God. It can bring, you could say it could bring the devil out in you if you misuse medicine. And that's a cliche saying. It's not actually, that's not real. The realness is that it can take your mind too far and cause you to give in to sin. It can be so we'll call that devilish. But we've put it in the hands of the devil's hands by putting it in illegal dealers' hands and stuff. And so we should legalize it for scientists to work with. And then, that epiphany's become very clear to me now. That truth, reality has become very clear to me now. And especially seeing what I've seen out there. We've let the devil's lovers, we've let lovers of lies, lovers of greed, murder, theft, we're letting them run the medicine. And so, that is of the devil. But the medicine itself, God created the medicine. So we should have it regulated, fully legalized for regulation, right? Fully legalized for regulation. And then you can actually put more concentration on addicts, which now you can't really blame them a lot of times. You can, because they shouldn't have accepted it here, but they can't get the medicine where they need it. They can't go for help where they need it. They can't admit they need help because they can be in trouble for it. They can't do anything. They could lose housing. They could do all this kind of stuff. They banned from housing forever just for using a medicine. And so they go to the streets to get it. And they're pressured to get it too when they don't want it. And so they get poisoned. They get stronger medicine than they plan. They get mixes. They get robbed. And so the true recovery is theft recovery. And sometimes you die from it. Well, and you can die from legal stuff too. But that's usually your fault if you did. But if you do it out there, you didn't know you were getting poisoned a lot of times. So it's really messed up. It's hard. I didn't want to explain that in this video. But how did I get on that? So I don't care what people think. I don't. I mean, in the end, I don't care what people think. I don't care what people think about my past. I don't care about, but the only things I would apologize for is in my past is, have I ever hurt anybody? No, I haven't. I haven't ever hurt anybody. So if I have hurt somebody, I apologize. Have I ever stolen from anybody? Not really, no. I've borrowed and lost stuff before. Paid it back though. So would I apologize for that? Yet usually if something like that happens, people won't even let you apologize. Stay away from me. Don't talk to me. They never forgive, right? So I'm glad I haven't done that, for those reasons. But I've just never been one. I don't want to hurt anybody, so I don't steal from anybody. I believe I have the Christian side to me. I just disagree with medicine laws, right? And I know we've made a lot of slaves. We've used crooked laws to make slaves out of people. Our country, or the whole world has, I guess. And so there's crooked laws, and a lot of people don't see it. They agree with the laws. And then they support stealing. They support hurting people who will take a medicine, right? So that doesn't deny the fact that people can act up on too much medicine. But it's worse than it would be if you had safer forms. So I don't, if I've acted like a fool in the past, that's embarrassing. If I haven't been sober and acted like a fool, it's embarrassing to me. It's not, if somebody wants to make an issue of it, that's their problem. Did I hurt them? No. Did I hurt anybody? No. They want to make an issue of it, that's their issue. So that's that, but also I don't apologize for my views on this stuff. So one thing I'm confident now. I'm into getting people who do steal from people. I am into stopping people from violence, but mostly by talking about it to enough to where they wouldn't do it. And if they do it, I teach mercy and going easy if you can, but you have to keep the public safe. You have to promote keeping the public safe. So I talk about these things to prevent it. You prevent it first is the idea. And you let people, you inform people they're wrong. That's another subject. So the cartel people need to know, because it's not true. They don't know what's right and wrong, because we always lie about that being a sin to use medicine. And it's not a sin to use medicine. So they're confused about it, right? I'm confused about it. You're definitely confused about it, especially the people who hate everybody for it. They're the most wrong ones. And so they need to hear it is, in fact, wrong. Okay, you think it's okay to steal, hustle, and swindle people and even hurt people for things that are not an eye for an eye. And you are wrong. They need to know they're wrong. They're like, I'm going to do it anyway. Fine, but at least you need to know you're definitely 100% wrong in doing that. You should not do it. And you're not loving your neighbor. You're a hater. And then you're sitting there saying not to vote Trump too and stuff. And you're going to hurt somebody for voting Trump because they're a bigot, or you claim that they're bigots and all that. And you're the one hurting people and being a bigot. Threatening to hurt people. People have the freedom to choose who they want to vote for. We have the freedom to talk about who and why. And it's because of people like you, that person. Nobody knows Trump gave $200 billion to black people. And those same people don't care. They don't want anybody to know. They hate him that much. For what? I mean, for what? Because of what some people in media said? Because they called him a racist? And you're going to believe that? You decide to believe that? Anyway. So, but I don't care. I feel relieved to know that there's a lot of people I've put time into making friends with for the sake of other people that wanted us to be friends, right? Now, I wanted us to get along. There are people I wanted to get along with, but I knew really I'm kind of wasting my time trying to network with them. I also want to network with people who are friends when it comes to sharing gospel, sharing political truth, and all those kind of things. And for evangelism, to warn people about heaven, hell, really, but tell them about their choice for heaven, all those kind of things. So educate them about how to eat well, educate them about, try to encourage people. I'm into encouraging people and just let them know, about anything. And being optimistic in a sense. I have a reason to be optimistic because I'm going to heaven, because I believe in Christ, right? So I know tomorrow's always going to have something better. Even through bad times, there's always something better I can learn and hope for, and pray for, right? Which I could do more of that. But I'm busy trying to teach myself and teach people, and I do pray that it's God is interceding for me. And I've recently, come to think of it, I've forgotten to do that. Lord, intercede for me right while I'm sleeping tonight. That's something I learned to do, and I've forgotten to do it many times. More times than not, I've forgotten to do that. So I get busy, and I jump into bed, just hope I can fall asleep. Sometimes I can't stay awake. But, I'm trying to, I jump into bed fast sometimes because I can have trouble sleeping at times. And I lay there and hope I can fall asleep before I think of something else that wakes me up. But, so we pray for God's intercession, pray without ceasing, He walks with us, so we're praying without ceasing by walking in the Spirit. When I'm singing, I'm praying. When I'm listening to music, I'm praying more. A lot of times when I'm singing, I'm concentrating on the notes, Did a live Christmas concert a while ago. I was trying to, as I did it live, I was thinking even more about the words than I do when I'm trying to record something without error, and sometimes I do better if I try to emphasize some lyrics when I'm recording, not live, but just recording. I thought I was interpreting it some one way, and it didn't turn out the way I wanted. When I do it live and I'm thinking about the words, I'm a little more careful and not trying to make it sound any real certain style. And it turns out better sometimes. Anyway, but it did, like I did earlier, I did emphasize certain words about how Jesus came to sleep. He had no bed when his first night on earth. He was homeless. So I emphasized the lyrics that way, in a manger, right? So, I did that on my little live recording. Just did it. Thought about it as I was singing it. So concentrated on it. Meditated on it. So he came and loved us, right? He came and loved us by going through the pains we go through, right? All that kind of stuff. So I had an angle I wanted to bring about how I don't care. So I have relief. I do have relief in knowing I don't need to keep chasing friendships with family and stuff. I don't know if that'll ever change, but I do know that I've lived well a lot in my life, really, because I've never been an addict. I've never been a daily addict type person. I've been a person who, what you could call it a relapse. But I'll go on a one-day excursion periodically, and I can't stand to do it longer than that. But I just need to get away, and I do it. I've done it, and that's it, and it's over. So I've never been somebody who keeps doing it and keeps doing it and keeps doing it. I'm a health nut, and I usually regret it. I might either get injured, have burns, I have to recover my diet. You're getting your energy back. I don't like medicine for those reasons. I don't like the chocolate I did for those reasons. I'm getting short on time. So my point is, but recently I went the longest I've ever gone without going out. All right. And so you do see some stuff and realize some things and realize, okay, I've been trying to mend relations and I've had this longest period of time where I'm clean and everything's going good. And then I finally went back out once and I realized that's it. I can't be friends. They're not going to be friends with me because I went out. To me, that's wrong on their part. I think that's wrong on their part. And I think that's wrong on our society's part. I don't think it's that big. I really don't think it's that big a deal. The only big deal is that I got robbed again. So you get robbed when you go out, and that's bad. If I didn't get robbed, it wouldn't have been a big deal. It wouldn't even be a big deal. So you don't get robbed, it's not a big deal. So that's the thing. Well, if they legalize it, you're not going to get robbed, and then you're going to be a terrible addict. What's a terrible addict? I mean, I understand there's terrible addicts, but nobody would ever know I used anything because I didn't get robbed if it's legal. Now, unless I start having a problem with it, but if I ever used something just periodically, which, I mean, people know I used chocolate and caffeine yesterday because I'm telling you. And I have a little bit of a headache from it. So, I know and I might talk about it. But aside from that, I didn't cause any issues. I didn't cause any problems. I didn't start lusting this time because I guess this caffeine didn't have the same effect on me. I didn't do, so it's not the best thing for my body, but I felt like I needed that kind of medicinal relief for a few reasons, right? So, but I just realized though that in having a long period of time, and I hope to have longer periods of time away from theft, and also understanding that it is in the hands of, I rationalize it because I really think the laws are wrong, and I've rationalized going back before because I don't think anything's wrong with it. I mean, deep down, I don't say that to people because I don't want people to do it. It's dangerous. There's bad people out there and all that. But I look at it like, well, they're the ones that tricked us with the bad law. They made predatory laws and mixed good medicine with bad medicine, and they won't give good forms, good options. You can't go for help. You can't even go to a psychiatrist anymore and all that kind of stuff. So I rationalize it when I've gone out and when I've gone out. But the fact is, but I have a new awareness that it is of the devil when it's in their hands. So I've not really thought of it that way. And I can still rationalize, yeah, but that's not their fault because the laws were purposely there for a trick. And they do have some of the best medicines in the world in the street that aren't available legally. And those are God's medicines from the ground. But they mix them. They cheat you out of them. They know if you go to do it, they know you're isolated. They've got you isolated. The law isolates you so they can attack you. They can steal from you. They can set you up to go to jail or something, right? That's all exists. And so it's in the devil's hands. I'm more aware of that now. So hopefully I don't ever relapse because I hope I get to go on my next fast and feel healthy again, all the way healthy. And I hope I just enjoy the peace of not being robbed again and not having to feel guilty. Not guilty in the sense of that I think it's wrong all the way, but in the guilty in the sense that it does still break relations. So but I realize that, man, if I'm clean 6 months or a year and I mess up, then we're enemies again. And I think they're wrong for that, not me. And because I could declare enmity with them every time they drink coffee if I want to. I do contest it a little bit. I say, that's not good for you, because I'm a health nut. I'd say, look, I got carob powder and chicory powder. That's good for you. It helps your memory better, and they don't want to hear it. Right? Partly because they think what I do is worse. What I've done is worse, but I don't do it every day like they do with caffeine, people generally. But you have, I feel relief, though, to have gone through this recently and found out that I don't have to keep trying to make friends and wasting my time. And plus, all they want to do is use it as a chance to make me feel like a fool, reject my subjects, and act like nothing I say is worth anything, like I'm worthless and you're irrelevant, and don't talk to me. You're just complaining. I'm not. What am I complaining about? Or everybody has pain. Don't talk to me. Stuff like that. And that's common subjects that I'd run across when trying to befriend certain people. And they're just trying to deflect or whatever. I won't go into it. So, but I feel relief. I feel relief because I don't need to waste my time with that anymore. And I know I'm not wrong. They're wrong. It's not. These people are Christian, considered to be Christian. I'm not sure if they are, based on that kind of thing. But they are. They're academically successful, right? So they get the qualification, they get the stamp of approval for being good students and stuff. Students who use their studenthood to progress in life. And I'm a philosopher, and I'm not even for all that. I like the system helps a lot, but there's a point where it doesn't fit everybody. And I'm one of those kind of people because I believe in really evaluating ethics, true ethics, and love, and I believe in Christ. So these people don't apply Christ. They apply the Bible academically, and they put twists on it and don't apply Christ really to relations or to loving somebody outside their circle. And the point is, I do love people outside my circle. I share with people outside my circle, and they don't like that either. So whether I was having no problems or not, they've never liked that about me before I had those problems, that being robbed and all that. They didn't like the fact that I was not into the cliques and I would share outside my circle. So that's anyway. But I better go because of time. There are other subjects I wanted to come to, but I wanted to say that was one of the things I wanted to talk about, is that I feel relieved. And I don't care what people think. I mean, I'm considerate of it and all that, but in the end, I don't care. I'm careful about it. I'm try to be tactful and everything else, but I don't care. I care about, I'm just addicted to finding the truth and finding what's relevant and knowing that I could die today and anybody could die today. And what matters when you die is nothing here matters. It's gone. It's over. It's over. So, I'm not into making a big deal about stuff, but I am into talking and bonding with people. And so I don't want to keep talking to these people that reject me. The Bible says to go wipe your feet, wipe the dust off your feet and walk away from people like that. And so that's something new I've realized. And I've never realized that when it came to some of my own people I grew up with, that I knew growing up with, that applies to them too. I'm supposed to wipe my feet, the dust off my feet as if it's unholy dust, and walk away because they're rejecting anything Christian about me, any Christian conversation, and any bonding neighborly conversation I try to have, they reject it and twist it as if it's not neighborly, and all that kind of stuff. When I talk nutrition, they reject nutrition talk, eating healthy, and I know a lot. That's my genius. If I have any genius, it's in nutrition. And so I got to go because it's at 38 minutes and it may not download. So I'm relieved to realize that the Bible, that it actually applies to people that I know that I've tried to befriend, that are because of family and stuff. I've tried to befriend they fit in the bracket of where you're supposed to wipe the dust off your feet and walk away. Now, I will try to be friends from a distance. I mean, from a distance, but I'm not going to keep trying to network with them. And we're on two different spiritual planes. And so, I mean, I hope they come around someday. But I can't waste time with it. They can network with somebody else, And I got to get some work done on that front, right? So I can't keep being set back, because I have actually relapsed before because I'm so rejected by some of these people. There's nowhere else to go. If I want to have any social life, I go out there. Now you could say what they would say, sit and pray and sit by yourself and let's stay on lockdown. Well, I do that already. I already do that all the time. So I'm still going to look for some social life. It's a social life breather and relief. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it periodically. It's just the way it is. I mean, I can go for weeks and weeks and weeks without any social life, but then I want a breather. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So a lot of times it's a strikeout. Most of the times it's a strikeout. But I'm still going to take a chance. What's love got to do with it? Well, I mean, it's a second-hand emotion. Okay. It's got everything to do with it. So it's, wanting to share a little love. But there's nothing wrong with that. And so that's a risk. It is a risk. But I'll take my chances when I need a little love in myself or exploration. Look, I'm loving myself by exploring. I'm also love people. I'm also always share with people. I always share kindness with people when I go exploring for some kind of bonding moment. Yeah, I want a bonding moment. Just sharing truth. Yeah, I admit that. Adios.